what they're doing from their branding is not cohesive.
You brought this up before. It should have been Parmula.
Parmula.
It's definitely the name you go for.
Exactly, yeah. That was the name of my like death metal band in high school too. Parmula. Gladiators on the attack. And the standard compositions from both teams as well. The new standard, we should say, as they try to loop their way into the left side building. Surefour, though, just going behind, getting the kill on IDK. You gotta expect the Surefour to be behind you. He is always behind you, but it may not matter here. Bazzi and Godsby picking up kills of their own. Gouchway down though, and Surefour's not done yet, and you gotta keep in mind it's a better respawn for the attackers on this map than it is for the defenders.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go back too, because right there, Gladiators, nearly a mirror 4v4 versus the Spark, but the difference is with Bebe was still alive, so a lot more healing coming out. You're not going to fight that with the Lucio. Might as well just wait for those faster reinforcements. That's what they do when they're on the point, and Decay has killed IDK immediately again.
IDK died first in both of these fights. There goes Bezzy this time. No kills for him, and a real problem for the Spark as they struggle to hold A. Gladiators have just got them pinned down, and they're going to bury them with boulders from Hydration. You'd think if Hydration used Accretion, he'd just make mud. But I'm no scientist.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
You're not a scientist, and you're certainly not a mathematician. As we've learned.
No, definitely not that. No. Math is scary, scary thing. Math is as scary as Surefour is in Hongzhou Spark's backline.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, terrifying, in fact. I'm defeated by math the same way that the Hongzhou Spark have been defeated
by Death Blossoms.
Surefour's Death Blossoms, that's right. Here we go, now Godsby trying his hand at the flank as well, getting onto the cart with a Death Blossom of his own. Surefour gets one, but Godsby gets three. And my math is not so good, but I'm pretty sure 4 is bigger than 1.
There's the last one, too.
I got that one at least.
Hongzhou Spark, the quick cleanup here on Eichenwald B. Now we can start to stabilize with this defense, maintaining that supercharger as well. We'll see a little bit of a delay here, though, to get their Reaper back. Godsby needs some extra time to get back into the mix.
He's right behind you again. Hydration, though, LC manages to escape the ultimate of Rhea. Rhea, though, gets Surefour. Ooh, nice rock from Hydration, actually. Knocks down Bazzi, but it doesn't really matter as Bazzi jumps right back in there. And now it's a bit of a spawn camp for the Hongzhou Spark for the moment.
And Gladiators, despite having a pretty good positional advantage at the start of that fight, considering that Godsby wasn't in the best flank to start things out.
Speaking of flank, Surefour trying to get her on the side again. Meanwhile, on board with Hydration, as he goes ahead, uses his ultimate. Gravitic Flux coming in, gets 3. Nice damage onto Reaper, forces that Wraith form, and when he comes down, he's going to be pretty vulnerable here. Hydration throws out the shield. That rock would have connected if the target was still alive, and Gladiators finally going to be getting some progress on this payload, it looks like.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah.
Hongzhou Spark took another 90 seconds or so off the time bank through that pretty aggressive B defense.
Maybe his body was going along for the ride there for a moment, but only back to spawn. You got to keep in mind, though, that on King's Row, the Spark did prevent the Gladiators from finishing the attack. It was just a really, really good point A defense by Gladiators that won that map. So the Spark haven't been totally bad on defense. That said, Decay with an early kill. Just come right back down. Yeah, why not, man? Hydration with the kill into Bezzy, and it's looking good for the Gladiators. Gouchway rocked as well by the Coalescence, and it shields up as the payload continues to roll.
Yeah, that easy team fight win there at the start. Now the Gladiators are going to be able to go ahead and camp these choke points for a pretty substantial advantage. Hongzhou Spark might have to use the sound barrier just to get onto the payload right now. They're going to try to do it with just a barrier right now, coming around from both sides at once. Stun onto Decay.
Yeah, rock beats punch, apparently. Surefour does get the kill on Rhea anyway. Godsby with one onto Shaz. Now Decay jumping in to try to make life difficult for the Reaper. Does just that. Death Blossom. Oh, no! You don't jump on that! And the Hongzhou Spark get a last-second defense here on B.
Coming through those choke points, the coordination was very good. They poured out of both doors simultaneously and stopped Decay's engage, ending up with the rocket punch for them on cooldown instead.
Right.
And try and play the high ground right now. Delay as long as possible. Everybody going through the castle here. Start things off for the Gladiators.
And the Gladiators trying to storm the castle, pulled back into themselves by the halt. It's going to be Surefour the Death Blossom as he felt the pressure coming in from the Spark. Rhea got a lot of shields out of that, actually. Bezzy dropping in behind the Gladiators now. Back to his team. as the Gladiators decide to take the long way around. Back to the drawbridge they go, and Shaz's Coalescence is going to have to carry them forward. They're going to have the sound barrier and the gravitic flux very soon here. All right, meanwhile, Ultimate comes in. Uh-oh, Bebe knocked off the edge. There's Decay down as well. Hydration with the ultimate. Can he turn this one around for his team? It looks like he can with kills on Abezi and Godsby. It's a good start. There's a rock. Oh, nearly knocked him off the edge.
That's a huge move.
Quite, but IDK gets a big one onto Roar, like you mentioned, Monty, and Gladiators on the verge of maybe pushing this one through. IDK down. Can they keep it going? There's a rock avoided by the Wraith form from the Reaper, and Surefour gets one onto Bezi. So the Gladiators continue to sort of slowly grind their way through the Spark defense, and that might be point B. They got to get rid of IDK. He does get the knockoff onto Roar, but point B taken by LA.
You know, it looked to me like Surefour got booped off there, but I think he shadow stepped back onto the bridge, and that was I think the major play that got them that victory on this attack. Gonna take that point just in time, giving them 2 minutes to work with right here.
And not a lot of time. Honestly, this looking really similar to the Gladiators' attack on Kings Row as far as the progress they've been able to make, the defense that Spark has put together, and it's a good start for this one for the Hangzhou Spark as Bazzi gets a kill onto Shaz. Gladiators are gonna go for it. 5v6 are popping the sound barrier anyway. They think they can win this one. Can they? Bezzy misses that rocket punch, but Big Goose still in a little bit of trouble. Oh, Surefour, though, with the Death Blossom. They're going to walk forward onto Hangzhou, and they've got the Coalescence to try to keep people healed up. See if it works out. Surefour gets a kill onto Goose in the meantime, and he's going to go ahead and try to jump into the back lines as well. They know he's there, but it doesn't save Bazzi. He's going to go down anyway. And Spark slowly but surely losing members on the defense. That said, they've stopped the payload for now. It might start to move, but the respawns are going to be there.
Respawns are going to be there, but a lot of ults used there by the Hangzhou Spark. Not going to have any support ultimates, and they're going to have to stall this out somehow.
They've got Godsby trapped back there too. Manages to get his Wraith form cooldown up just in time. Gladiators trying to finish this one off. 45 seconds on the clock to do it. Hydration, Gravitic Flux, stunned, can't quite use it, down to 0 health, he's out. Goucheway with a kill, uppercut to finish him, and now Rio with one under Surefour. The Spark trying to finish off this defense and give the Gladiators one last chance to complete their attack.
Yeah, they need those respawns. Rest of the Gladiators going to retreat. Are we going to see the same thing as on our last hybrid map, Kings Row?
Kind of looking that way, isn't it?
Yeah, the Gladiators barely not able to finish the map, but then they roared back with a full hold on their own defense.
They've got a few ultimates to use here as they go in. It's going to be the Turbo Supercharger from Hangzhou Spark. Sound barrier now for the Gladiators. IDK pops his just a second later. Giving his team the shields for a little bit longer. Gravitic Flux used by both teams. Shaz with a kill on the Coalescence as well. The Gladiators getting the edge in this one, but Hangzhou taking a few names themselves as well. They'll have the respawns, but will they be there fast enough to stop the Gladiators? It's OT again. A very similar situation to Kings Row as the Spark finally gets the respawns onto the payload. The damage there from Baby's Coalescence as well. Can they finish it? They haven't been able to finish off Goucheway just yet. And now, yes, the Spark are coming in. The Diva is there as well. Surefour eliminates Bebe, but Godsby's Death Blossom again not accomplishing a lot. Surefour's got the Death Blossom in, unlike Kings Row.
The Gladiators able to finish.
And they finish it in overtime, though, Doa, so no guarantee that they get another attack round if the Hangzhou Spark finish with over a minute remaining. But at least they've thrown the gauntlet down on map completion here.
And with as good of a defense that they had on Kings Row, you gotta be sweating. If you're the Hangzhou Spark, it's do or die for them when we come back.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
Hangzhou Spark on the attack, looking for a bit better of a result on Hybrid than they saw in King's Row, but it was kind of a crazy play at the end of point B for the Gladiators.
Surefour managing to save himself off of a boot.
Yeah, look at
see
this.
he got knocked off this bridge. And it's a big part of why they were actually able to even take B was this.
Look at that. Man, that is...
He's able to get back into the fight.
Yeah, that is the Shadow Step buff that has really been one of the big reasons why we see Reaper again.
Yes.
The ability to do that in the air. Yeah, give yourself a hand, Surefour. You deserve it.
Gladiators. A defense here means they're moving on in the playoffs. Hangzhou Spark trying to avoid being sent down to the lower bracket. See if they can do that. They managed to barely scrape out a win on Lijiang Tower, but Eichenwald is a different story.
And hopefully we didn't cast or curse them, talking about Gladiators' first ever playoff victory
That's entirely possible.
on Lijiang.
Yeah.
See if they can hold here. Well, Decay gonna send Rhea back to spawn, post haste.
Caster Curse avoided so far. Yeah, you can't move forward without that Sigma. Now Spark just trying to not lose more, but they're going to lose Bezzy anyway. They do get the kill on Roar. All right, that's actually kind of shocking.
That's actually really bad
Wow.
for them because they need Roar's barrier on the point to contest. So Hangzhou basically has a free approach right now, the ability to get the barrier advantage on the objective. They had to send Big Goose all the way back to get the speed boost. They're going to give up ticks here regardless. It's not good for the Gladiators. Now they have to re-engage.
I'd love to know how Godsby actually managed to find that kill on Roar. That's kind of crazy. Bezzy, meanwhile, hydration does not last long. Back was turned, and the fist came in. Godsby, meanwhile, gets behind the Gladiators, trying to do a little bit more damage. They've taken out Decay already. Gushue down as well. Oh, Bezzy with a kill on the Shaz. The Spark on the verge of getting a very fast point A, and they need it.
Roar dying is... Your Risa dying in this meta is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Because she is both slow coming off the respawn, and you don't have a lot of staying power on the point without the Orisa there, right? The Doom Fist is a major threat to you if you don't have that fortified Orisa, and you can't really contest. So Gladiators did what they could. They backed off until the Orisa gets back, but it's kind of a disaster. They were in a low percentage situation for a victory, and that team fight Godsby also gonna go ahead and murder Surefour from behind.
I had no idea, man. That was a true assassin Reaper there, and Hangzhou Spark winning a great defensive fight here. Roar down as well, and yeah, it's like you said, man. You need that Orisa. It's like having the ice cream cone without the cone. If the cone's not there, you just melt.
That's a good analogy, Noah. Good analogy. Unless you can eat it fast enough, right?
True.
Which is
Well,
also continues the good analogy.
It's gonna be messy
so.
either way. Yeah. I like how when Sigma uses his kinetic grasp as absorb, he just kind of yells a little bit. At the end, it was kind of sad. He used that hydration, being like, "Ah!" You knew it was coming. Can avoid it. Meanwhile, Gravitic Flux Storm, but Rhea going to be the sound barrier for Big Goose as they try to stay alive. Rhea doesn't hit with the rock, but they are down on the payload. Meanwhile, Roar's Supercharger out of commission. Surefour trying to knock her off the high ground. They get him with the rock as well. Surefour goes in for the kill, but the kinetic grasp there for the shields. Bezzy, meanwhile, gets 3. And this has been a very fast attack for Spark. What is going on?
Uh-oh. Is this the turnaround, though? Is this the start of it for the Spark here? Because they are looking good with 3.5 minutes remaining. And remember, if they finish with over a minute, there's not even going to be an attack round for the Gladiators. Best they can do is draw.
All right, it's a Garden of Death Blossoms, but Surefour is not going to grow as much as Godsby. Meanwhile, he Wraith forms away to safety. Decay with 2 on the Meteor Strike. The Gladiators not done yet.
That Coalescence will be there, but the immediate damage from the Meteor Strike, too much for the tanks to handle. Surefour is
back
spinning
again.
to win on the payload.
That's right. Decay with another one onto Bezzy, so Spark so close to finishing point B, but the momentum has finally been stalled.
However, we're going to see an interesting fight. There aren't going to be ults at the start of this next engagement, so potential for a pick is really huge on either side.
Ult cost across the board was increased by 12% in the last big patch, so we are going to see just less ults in general in Overwatch. And
more neutral engagements for sure.
I am personally fine with that.
Me too.
That's right. All right, Spark trying to take the high ground now over to the drawbridge. You got to be really careful not to get yoinked off the edge here, just like that. That's the danger. Doesn't end up working out, but Surefour, oh, he's gonna go down. Bezzy with a kill there. Oh, Bezzy! Oh, I can't believe he stayed on. That was more alarming than your average Mario Brothers level. It was terrifying. Hydration down, and Spark winning the fight at the end of B. And they're gonna keep this thing going, and they're gonna have a good amount of time on point C as well.
Oh, yes, they are, Doa. They're gonna finish. Over 3 minutes remaining right now. 2 minutes until they hit that point where the Gladiators are actually going to have a chance here for another attack. And Godspeed going to start it off with an excellent elimination onto Hydration. Looked like he was split spawned there.
That's rough, man. You don't want to lose a tank early on like that. It's just going to take longer for the Gladiators to set up again. And the Spark really close to setting a great time and giving themselves a chance to win the map. The single tick take on point A, but they gotta finish, and they gotta finish with time in the time bank, and that's not gonna help.
They are stabilizing right now.
Well, they're trying, but the respawn's better for the Gladiators. And yep, there goes Goucher and Bebe. So Hangzhou Spark sent back to spawn. They still have nearly 2.5 minutes remaining, though.
The Spark retained many of their ultimates. They only used the Coalescence. Gonna be coming back with 5. Much bigger commitment there from the Gladiators. This is Hangzhou Spark's opportunity. They only really need to win one fight, and then they'll just be able to pick off any respawns coming in from Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's the plan. A lot of ultimates for Spark. Here we go. It's going to be Gravitic Flux from Hydration. Preemptively gets stunned out of it, though. That's a big one. Hydration trying to do work, and now it's going to be Rhea. They're going to pair it with the sound barrier. Bazzi gets one as well, and the Spark carving through the LA Gladiators, cleaving through the shield, and that payload's going to get some progress.
It definitely is. Now, can they stall it out? We've seen some great stalls from the Gladiators so far in this series.
Yeah, we sure have. We've seen some amazing stuff from them defensively at the very end, at the very last minute like this, and there it starts. Bazzi down, Shaz with the kill there. Roar in trouble, though, as the Spark try to equalize this. Both teams have the Moira ultimate firing away. And now Surefour with the Death Blossom just separating the Spark, trying to prevent the team members from coalescing there. Lack of a better term.
You just need to stay on the payload, though. They have to force the Spark really to engage right now. The spawn advantage is there. Bezzy's starting to get some limbs.
Yeah, he came back, got a kill onto Decay. Now Gosby with one on the big boost. Hydration again, using the shields to stay on the point. Roar is out, though, and now the Gladiators losing members fast. That payload is going to move, and still time in the time bank. If the Spark can finish it, they're going to have a great chance to win this map. They're at least going to achieve a draw. Can they stay alive? Gosby with the Death Blossom at the end. Oh, and Roar is right there. Can they kill Hydration? He doesn't even get there. 136.
6 in the time bank. It's going to be a minute for the Gladiators, it looks like.
Yep, that's it. I mean, they finished under a minute, so we are going to see the Gladiators get another opportunity for an attack here.
That's big.
Just barely missing out.
Man.
So the hold is enough to keep the Gladiators in a position where they can close out this series.
Yep, Spark not quite getting that minimum draw. We'll see, though, in extra innings, who comes out with the win. Getting tense here on Eichenwald. 1 minute for the LA Gladiators, a minute 36 for Hangzhou Spark, who were unable to get the payload across the line before the minute mark happened, and that gives the Gladiators one more chance to attack. We'll see what they can get done.
Not a lot of time, and remember, if we draw on this map, it will still be match point for the Gladiators. Hangzhou will still be in need of 2 more map victories, potentially again sending us to the map 8 that we saw last week between London and Shanghai in the play-ins.
That's a first to 4. So we'll see what happens. Hydration. A little bit low. All right, Decay with a kill on Bezzy. That's a good start for the Gladiators on their attack here. And that 6v5, but Surefour drops as well. The equalization happens. The rock goes into the shield as well from hydration. Didn't get that stun. Spark, though, falling back to the payload. And Decay's going to get back there a little bit quicker. Surefour, that is, going to get back there a little bit quicker.
Right now, we did see Bezzy come back. He's on the Doomfist, so high mobility.
Yep.
Back into the mix. Gladiators waiting for that opportunity. Bezzy going to get stunned out in the front line, but
stunned
Decay
out of his
falls.
rocket punch. Oh boy, Big Goose and Decay both down. And the Spark, they are holding, and there's only 5 seconds remaining. They might just be able to do it right here, right now. No ultimates available. Surefour drops. He's not going to get that big team fight win that his team has relied on all night. And the Spark, they are going to hold here.
Now the
Going to take a miracle.
Yeah, that miracle's not going to come.
I think so, yeah. Oh. Godsby with a Celebration Death Blossom at the end, and that will be a full hold for the Hangzhou Spark.
And now, Doa, the question is, are we going to 7 maps, or are we going to more than 7 maps?
You never know.
Because we are now guaranteed at least a draw.
Yes.
So Spark have a chance with their minute and 36 seconds to make a push here and take the win on Eichenwald, which would settle things on map 7 for us.
Right. They only need that first tick to do it. You can see the demeanor of the Spark have changed a bit in these last couple maps. Starting to kind of find their groove, it seems like. Getting the win on Lijiang Tower, reigniting that motivation.
Gladiators fans sweating.
Yeah.
They've seen this before in playoffs.
I was going to say, yeah. We've seen the Gladiators have a good start and then not quite be able to handle it at the end. And you know, this year's a little bit different. If they lose today, they still have a chance in the lower bracket. Same goes for Hangzhou Spark, but I think if I were the Gladiators, I'd start to get a little bit nervous here.
Yeah, Hangzhou, they'd love to just win this so we can go ahead and decide the series on the next map instead of them having to win that one and then another one after that as well.
Yep.
Big opportunity here, but only 36 more seconds to do what the Gladiators couldn't do. But they know they only have to take that one tick.
Got a little bit more time than the Gladiators had, 1:36 on the time.
Bank gets a Spark roll out here on Eichenwald. Just needing that first third of the control meter on point A.
No funny business, no crazy strategies. Hangzhou Spark going to be confident. Taking this mirror, nice punch back, making some space here to walk up.
A decent rocket punch on the hydration. A little bit of damage done, but healed up quickly.
It's a slow roll right now onto the point for the Hangzhou Spark, taking cover behind broken tank there.
If you can win one fight decisively. Oh, and there we go! Decay and Big Goose both down, and the Spark, I'd say that's it. I don't think Hydration's gonna come back and win the 1v5. No, he's not. And the Spark
Smack